Welcome everyone to LGE's coverage here for Monday's Limitless 1 in the Limitless Formula Racing League, and we're into the European season of round 5 here at Portugal. We've got 18 drivers and it's the first sprint qualifying of the season for Monday. We had one last week for Tuesdays in China. That went quite well. A lot of action in the first lap and it seemed to simmer down towards the very end. Back with Barry this week, not with Ethan or Toby like I was last week. How you doing, Barry?
Not too bad. How's yourself?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, so we're just waiting to see what the drivers are going to do. It's going to be a wet sprint, Barry.
A wet sprint, oh, always good, always good.
So certainly
good thing, I suppose. It's only 5 laps at the end of the day, so
yeah, we'll have to see what it's like in the race. I think it was wet last Thursday's sprint race, Barry, I think, at Italy.
I believe it was for the sprint, 25% sprint. Was wet. I think it was the start of the race, main race as well. 50% race was also wet.
It was, yeah, just about a quarter of the way through it was wet, so not very long at all. Got a few drivers now starting their
I didn't last very long on Thursday, so
I can't remember where you came.
Dead last. First turn, DNF. But hey ho, we're talking about money now.
So Barry, you were saying earlier on you don't really like Portugal, the Algarve circuit, is that right?
It's the that hump, the hump. I don't know what it's called.
Turn 8.
I'll take your word for that one. It's the hump.
Is it the one going the right-hander up the hill?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually got a name. It's actually called Samsung. So
it should be called Spinny. Spinny.
As we're watching the Haas of Crossfire Strike, so I said in the Discord a minute ago, if there's anywhere he's going to win, it's here. As you see him about to start his first lap in the red, blue and white Haas. New livery came out on Friday. Looks absolutely no different whatsoever from
different shade of white.
Different shade of white. Slightly, yes, Russian flag vibes going on, but still Russian flag vibes going on as we see him come through turn 4 and along the first DRS zone of 2 on the track. Heavy braking down at turn 5. Of course, it's downhill. Brake there, so I have to brake a little bit earlier than you would probably expect to, around turn 7, and then the formidable turn 8, especially on the game with the, as you see there, the front end really not liking the turning, and the rear end really doesn't like it on acceleration as he just runs through turn 11. A short climb again through this. They say it's Zandvoort, the middle sector is like a roller coaster section, but I think this is more roller coaster section like. Seeing Crossfires come round the penultimate corner of turn 14. 15 corners on this track. Apex Finley takes provisional pole, but that's only because he set the benchmark first lap. See where Crossfire comes. Beats that time by around 3/10 with a 1:16.594. Sub Pancake 1:17.7. Quite far off the pace.
Jim and Bugs Bunny's did an invalidated lap. Thought he was one of the first ones to the track. So if he's not a set of time, he must have invalidated.
Just on board with him now. As Vedran and Big Weir have set laps as well now. Aston Martin second and third, and Big Weir's invalidated his next lap. Might see, you probably definitely will now with the conditions in the sprint. You'll probably see some drivers doing a couple of laps on one set of tyres because they're not going to be used in this sprint, and they don't get used for very long if it's dry anyway, so you do tend to see in this format them using one set of tyre a little bit more. Ruding's taking provisional pole now. Look how close that is. 1,000th of a second. 1/1000th of a second on
I don't
provisional.
even. You
pole
couldn't even
for
get a
the
Rizzler paper between that time.
sprint. No, you really couldn't. Taking that quote from me a few weeks ago, eh? As see Bugs Bunny is spun off the track there. Not too sure where that is. I think that's turn 9.
Binley's mini sector?
No, it's not turn 9. It's turn 12. As he's spinning again now at turn 13. Yeah. Needs to be careful, as that is the optimum line there for people on their laps.
Nickname now the Ballerina.
Tim Spoff has also invalidated his lap time. Kem Jazz comes across the line. 8th fastest with a 17.6. We might see a slightly bigger deficit. So Haribo says Bugs Bunny mowing that lawn.
If he wants a job mowing lawns, I can always point him in the right direction.
Got one for him. As we see Stinos come around the final corner, he's taking the last 2 wins on the bounce. Monday's Limitless one, leading the championship, 5th fastest. Will be on the 3rd row of the grid for the sprint. Of course, I keep saying provisional pole, but it's only provisional pole for the sprint, which really isn't pole. And pole will be taken at the end of the 5 laps. Anyone else on laps? We've got Dazzy number 1 fan on a lap coming through turn 8. He's just able to manage it. Got himself a new wheel today. Hasn't finished a single race so far as we get close to the way.
Very excited. He's been very excited all day today.
Waiting for Mr. Bezos to deliver his wheel for him.
Honestly, it's been comical.
See, just come around turn 13. Williams gets out of the way nicely for him. Now turn 14. This time going to put him, looks like in the 117s, 118s. He's at 118.6, so he's struggling on this new wheel, but no surprise there. Anthony on a lap in the Red Bull. See if he can get himself up
Ken coming into the
top.
pits.
And Anthony actually looked like he slowed up at the line. That was strange. Maybe run out of fuel. Just look a little odd. Ami Aguna is on a lap. I do recall because Ami Aguna races with absolutely no assists, and we did Portugal last season. It was a bit spur of the moment to do Portugal last season when the update had come and he hadn't learned anything about the track, so he was a bit unhappy. So this time he's a bit more on an even playing field to everyone else. I think he's just going to start another lap now. Tierney Matty, one of the reserves, is not left the pits. The other reserve is as we've not talked about yet, the McLaren. New to LFR, I think yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, apparently he had a good trial. If anyone's out there watching, wants to join the league, can do. Leave a comment in the stream. We can send you the Discord link. Join in, get yourself a trial and join the leagues.
Indeed, he sets a 118 flat. Slightly off the pace there. Tim Schpop on a lap. Into turn 4. Really difficult corner to get right there. You really don't see the exit. Like a lot of these corners really, with all the undulation and all the ascent and descent of this circuit. I said, Mary, you're not really a massive fan of it, but I really love this circuit. It's quite a challenge, but on the other hand, you can overtake here as well.
It's not a bad circuit, it's just an infuriating one.
I think most circuits infuriate you, Barry.
I like Monaco.
See Ami Aguna come across the line. You're mad for that. As Ami Aguna goes 10th with a 17.4. So top 10 all within a second at the moment. See where Tim puts himself in the mix here around the final corner. See if the Silver Arrow can get on the front row with his teammate. No, 11th. Quite a poor lap from Tim there with a 17.3. Kem and Civi out on other outlaps. Bugs Bunny is on a lap. He's another man not to set a time, along with Tierney Matthews, not left the pits yet. So now we're getting a quarter of the way through the season, Barry. Stinos is leading the championship by a slightly healthy margin now. Who are we thinking is looking odds on? He's got a yellow.
Before we go there, Amaguna's ran out of fuel. I really don't know. I think it's still too early to tell. I will give a shout out to Dazzy, pro #1 fan, also known as James, getting his new wheel. I think he's had a bit of unluckiness over the last few weeks with his wheel disconnecting on him, not being compatible with his new PlayStation. So don't write him off just yet, but
no.
It's too early for me.
It's too early. The nice thing here in qualifying, or qualifying to set the grid for sprint qualifying, is the top 13 now, Barry, within a second of each other.
Scary times, man.
And the top 16 within 1.3 seconds of each other. Pretty good.
I would like to see Apex pull up a few more points. I think he's been a bit hit and missy so far this season. We know he's got the pace. He's last season's champion. So, but this league is fast, so fast.
As Tierney Massey says, don't worry, I am here. He's doing what Anthony and Big Weir like to do. Nice little pre-race ritual there, I think, for Tierney Massey, but he's about to come out on the track. I think Barry will be the guest what I'm on about. See Anthony cross the line to start another lap. The top three are out on the track right now. 17 drivers set laps. Only Tierney Massey has yet to set a lap. Sargo says Kimi is a legend. As we see an Alfa Romeo, I think that was Dazzy, who has spun on the exit of turn 4 down the DRS straight. Ruding has eliminated his lap time as well. I'm looking forward to this sprint, Barry. I'm quite excited for it.
It's a tricky first couple of turns at the end of the start-finish race. So, you know, as I said, this week after week, there's some decent drivers in this league, and it does show how good they are at showing respect to one another when it comes into tight turns, like turn 1 and turn 2 on this track where, you know, it's so tight. But it could also be carnage. So, 5 laps, everyone's got everything to prove to get pole position for the main race. Is it going to be a sprint at the first turn? I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see about that. It's a bit of a tricky first turn here, but there is a lot of runoff on the outside. A lot of drivers in the pits, Barry, waiting for the last few minutes of qualifying. I think Anthony, I'm not sure if he's on a lap or if he's just racing back to start a final lap. But he's the only man that could be setting a lap right now. Just don't think he is. Got Big Rear out on an outlap. Who's just started? Oh yeah, Apex Finley.
Has just started his.
The other Aston Martin. Down into turn 3. And I said this tricky turn 4. You really can't see the exit.
Seems as though someone's just joined the Discord. It's always good to hear and see. You get 10% off your first race if you mentioned that it was Mr. Basil who sent you. And Anthony's went into the pits, didn't complete his lap.
So he's going to get a new set on and start a final run, watching Apex Finley. Come around turn 13 and 14, which you can take in numerous amounts of lines here at turn 14. It's one of these corners. This track in particular, actually. It's one of those where you'll see a lot of drivers taking very different lines here. As he comes around, he is going to complete the lap. Is it going to go faster? He must, and he goes fourth now with a 1:16.6.
And faster than his tyres, well.
So we haven't broken the 1:16.4 just yet. So the top 15 now, Barry, within a second of each other. But as we can see from the leader, yeah, so just over a second. As Matty says, I've got one lap at this, and yeah, mate, you've got to get yourself into the 1:17s for sure to get yourself anywhere on the leaderboard, but getting yourself into the low 1:17s, high 1:16s, you'll be looking for an alright lap. As we'll go back to the fastest laps. So provisional pole for the sprint at the moment is Tay Pasta. This is saying about Apex stepping up his game. Barry, the season 1 champion, Tay, certainly started to step up his game in season 3. I think I saw an Aston Martin, it was Apex Finley, is spun on a lap there as Crossfires goes through. We'll stay with Tay and see if he can better his lap. It looks like he's backed out of it actually and let the Alfa Romeo through. The two Alphas.
I'm on board with Matty. I'll watch Matty's time, see if there's any drama with him being the last one to set a time.
He definitely has one shot at it, and I've got a feeling there's going to be a bit of a queue for him. It's quite busy in Sector 1 at the moment. Still a few drivers on their out laps. Others have set them. We've got Tay, who's about to start another lap. We've got a 1:16.1. That is a big, big deficit for Tay Pasta to claw back, but he's going to try now as he overtakes his rival into turn 1, and we'll see what sort of time he can set. Of course, this isn't for everything in this race. We've still got another in this qualifying. It's we've got a little race to go after this, but of course there are points on the line for that. 10 points for the pole in the sprint as he brakes and turns for turn 5. And traffic is backing up at the final corner. I'm not surprised, just drivers trying to get in their final lap at the very end of the session. So watching Tay rise over turn 8 and plunge back down the hill for turn 9 and then back up again for turns 10 and 11, where you sit on this little plateau as Ruding has retired and is finished for this quali for the sprint. And at most he's going to be starting in 3rd. For that is Tay, who comes around the penultimate corner. The corner with many lines, as I said before. He comes around the final corner now. He needs to improve on his 1:16.4 by quite a lot as he comes up the hill to the start-finish line. 16.2. It's not enough to get on the pole position for the sprint. As Vedran comes around the final corner, he's been good in qualifying for the season. He tries to take the shortest run to the line. Stays 5th. Big Weir is in the pits.
He is 5/10 up on his time at the moment.
I
don't think we're going to see him jump up too much. Nope.
He stays in last. So he did gain some time. He's going to get himself into a little bit of a rhythm. Tim is on a lap. We're going to have to watch out for who's next to finish. Not too sure. I think it's going to be Stinos. It will be Stinos. He's in 7th at the moment with a 16.8. Can he improve?
Germany
he does. Goes 3rd, 16.3. Lucas Germany gets a 16.8. And Tim Schwab now down in 8th place. Another driver slots in there with Bugs Bunny going into 5th place. And I think that is the end of qualifying. The top 12 in the end were within top 13. Sorry, were within a second of each other. So still very, very good. And it was really only Dazzy that just sort of dropped off the pace at the back. But Crossfires is starting in 1st for the sprint. I keep getting confused about it because it's not pole. I kept saying pole. It is provisional pole, or is pole for the sprint, but it's not really pole. So we're going to get underway for a 5-lap race in a minute or so. Just waiting there we go, for the session to end.
I will say one thing about this track that I really admire is that how well the grass has been maintained. You know, drivers can spin off, and you know, and it's not going to cause massive damage to the cars. It's you know, they've got the racetrack hands in there and tending to the grass very good.
So after that little grass insight there from Barry, the inner farmer. So Crossfires takes first place for the 5-lap sprint. Tate Pasta is in second. Third is Stinos. Ruding is fourth. Fifth is Bugs Bunny. Sixth is Lucas A. Germany. Apex Finley is in seventh. Eighth is Fadran. Ninth is Tim Shapop. Big Weir is in 10th. 11th is Anthony. Amir Guna is in 12th. 13th is Sav Pancake. Sibiru is in 14th. 15th is Chemjazz. Tierney Massey is in 16th. 17th is Azure. And Dazzy, number one F1 fan, is starting 18th and last for the sprint. And remember, guys, it is a wet sprint qualifying, so it's only short 5 laps, but could have a lot of drama. I think everyone's going to just try and stay out of trouble. I think, Barry, in the sprint, it's probably the most wisest decision, especially for the top 10.
Keep on the black stuff. That's all you've got to do, really, isn't it? I mean, you know, after the last few weeks, we've seen the rain causing incidents. You know, it does happen, racing incidents, some things, but you know, what we don't want to see is Daddy Stroll coming out the pits and waving his money around, sort of trying to push things on. But we'll wait and see.
So we've only got a few seconds left. We're not going to have a formation lap, of course. Going to go straight into it, and we will do now. And as we're seeing the lights get underway, we've got 5 lights. And we're away from Monday's Limitless One's Portuguese sprint. Is Tate Pasta. Looked like he got a really good start there and took the lead towards turn 1. They go side by side, the Williams and the Alpine, as Tay still tries to hold on to the lead, but Stinos now takes the lead. There's a bit of contact between the drivers towards the front, but not too much in the way of collisions as of yet, as they now run through turn 4. I said everyone just trying to stay out of trouble. See Ruding trying to go around the outside of the Season 2 champ, and he has, as now he moves to the inside, and there's a bit of a lunge there from a few drivers. Was there some contact there, Barry?
I think Tate Pasta may have avoided an incident with crossfire strikes. Could be wrong about that, but it was very close. He did run off onto the grass, which was probably a good thing. In the spinny section.
In the spinny section, Bugs Bunny and Ruding going side by side towards turn 10, and now into turn 11. Ruding gets that position, moves up into 4th place. Gets those extra points as well, as Tate Pasta is still very close together with Amir Guna and Anthony are side by side into turn 14. The Ferrari and Red Bull is the Amir Guna is trying to go around the outside there, and looks like he does go around the outside. Great move from the Ferrari as he comes across the line to Stinos, and there's some drivers there weaving on the straight there, Barry. It's 3-second time penalty. We're speeding in the pit lane for T&E Massey. As Bugs looks like he's going on the inside of Tim Shapop here at turn 3. There's a bit of a slide there from the Mercedes, but he's able to hold on to the position. This is quite a lot of action going on in the first lap and a quarter of this sprint qualifying.
Bit of update, the Matty G did have front wing damage, and that's why he...
Tim now moves up into 5th. It's Mercedes in 4th and 5th at the moment. Stinos has got the lead by 1 second and will be taking the pole as it stands. Hopefully Crossfire Strikes can stay quite close to the back of him. And funny enough, Barry, the rain doesn't actually seem too bad, to be honest.
It just looks like a cloudy day. Brisk walk. Been quite a nice day now in Portugal.
Multiple moves going on at the back here. As Ethan is watching along. How you doing, Ethan? Dazzy is now moving himself up to 13th. Barry. We've gone from 18th to 13th.
Joe.
see. Is there a move here for Anthony to turn 1? No, Dazzy still holds on to 13th place. He's moved up quite a few positions. We'll see the biggest gainers it is Dazzy, who is the biggest gainer at the moment. Yeah, Ruding is close to Tay Pasta, but Bugs Bunny is even closer to Tim Chapon as they run into turn 7. Bugs Bunny gets himself a 2-second time penalty. You don't want to do that in the sprint.
Not a 5-lap sprint, you shouldn't be getting time penalties that quick.
Not really. It's not something we really should be seeing. The top 3 are all separated by around a second. As Barry does his classic.
It's getting turned off, I'm sorry. Sorry for being at work and working.
The 2 Ferraris are 10th and 11th at the moment. Not seeing a position change from them just yet. Bugs Bunny look like he's going to try and take 5th place off Tim Schwab, but just not enough yet. I think a lot of the drivers, Barry, are saving their battery for the final lap, as the Ferraris are now changing positions.
At the moment there, Bugs Bunny with his 2-second time penalty could put him down to around 3.9, 3.10 if it stays the way it is at the end of this lap.
He's just trying to get past Tim Schwab. He's going to try and go around the outside. Here, they're wheel to wheel into turn 5, and he gets better traction out of turn 5 on the curbs, but still gets that 5th place. There was a slight bit of touchy. There is again, as I think Tim tried to go round the outside of Bugs Bunny at turn 8. Bugs Bunny did not allow it and moves himself up into 5th. He's only got a lap and a half to go. Barry,
I will say one thing about Bugs Bunny is, you know, I've watched him the last few weeks now, and you know, he just like to have a go at doing the overtakes, and it's always nail biting. It's very close. It's always action when you're on the cam with Bugs Bunny. You know, good racing.
He's just pulling away now as we've got Stinos setting the fastest lap, but no point in the sprint, only in the Grand Prix, and we're now on to the final lap of the sprint. We'll have about a 5-minute break until we get into the 50% Grand Prix, and of course it sets the order for the Grand Prix, and the top 6 will get points. Stinos looking like he's going to be taking the pole position after starting 3rd for the sprint, but Dazzy gaining the most positions in the sprint. We're going to see any more changes for positions. We're surely going to see Bugs Bunny fall down the order a little bit.
Anthony's just got a 2-second penalty there, multiple warnings. I think he's going to have a big word with himself about that after this 5-lap sprint.
We're just seeing this mid-pack here, the fight for 7th place. But it doesn't look like there's going to be anything that happens on the last lap. Don't think Ruding's going to have a go at Tay Pasta ahead. And Stinos now comes around the final corner, and for the first sprint of the year, the first of 5, takes the pole position for the Grand Prix, and the 10 points, gets fastest lap as well, but I said no point for that. Crossfire Strikes comes home in 2nd. 3rd place is Tay Pasta. 4th and 5th, Bugs Bunny now moves down to 6th. Tim Schwab moved up 4 places in that sprint. The Mercedes duo are looking pretty good. I'm sure, even though it won't really have, if we had a sprint driver of the day, Barry, I think that would be Dazzy for that.
Like I said, don't rule them out just yet. New wheels, so there will be some teething issues, getting to learn the new system that he's got. But you know, we both know he is a fast driver, and he's proved that. He's moved up a few spots, put himself in a decent position for the main race.
So we're just waiting for Tierney Matty, and there we go. So that is the end of the sprint. Unfortunately, think the rain dulled it down just a little bit. We did see quite a bit of action. Tim Spott got driver of the day for the sprint. We thought it would have been, if we'd have had that, would have been Dazzy, but mainly because he's got his new wheel only a few hours ago, literally. What one did he
I'd
get,
say he's like a
actually?
kid at Christmas. Logitech,
G29.
numbers, letters, something like that. Numbers and letters, I don't know.
So, Stinos takes pole position after the sprint. Crossfire Strikes is on the front row with him in second. Tapasta is third. Fourth is Ruding. Tim Schwab is fifth. Bugs Bunny is sixth. Seventh is Apex Finley. Lucas A. Germany is eighth. Ninth is Vedran. 10th is Amir Guna. 11th is the Sad Pancake Big Rose. 12th. Dazzy, number one F1 fan, is 13th. Civi Rowe is 14th. Anthony is 15th. Kemjaz is 16th. 17 is Azure F Wings. And Tierney Matty is 18th, like he started in the sprint. So we'll be back with another stream in a few moments' time, guys, in about 5 minutes' time from now. Make sure to check that out. That's in about 5 minutes. Like this video if you can, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As I said, we'll be back in about 5 minutes' time.